Hello again, and welcome to this tutorial about the Nikon F. And this time I will show how to take out the winding gear. I already have disassembled the top. You can see the first how to disassemble the top part here. Only this side. So it's already explained in the other film. Now I already have taken off the top, loosen it, and that's it. But the part I would like to show you how you could take out that part here. That's the actual winding gear when you have the advanced arm, and simply advance the film. So it works pretty good, so there's nothing really wrong with that. This is just to show how you take out the whole thing here and the counter, and yeah, so we just go ahead. There are some screws, at least one, that has to be unscrewed clockwise, not as the most of the screw has to be unscrewed counterclockwise. So but let's head into it. To take out the whole winding gear assembly, yeah, there are 3 screws here. Not this one, was for the ear strap here, but there is one, this screw here, and this, but it's not that easy as it looks, because to actually take the whole gear out and see what's actually inside here, the spring that reset the counter is under here. There's a long leaf, very long spring that is wind up. And of course it will, when I take off the back, it will reset, of course. So but first I will take off the counter itself. There's one screw on top here, and just put a hand on here because there's a long spring inside. So I use a 2mm flathead screwdriver and just unscrew it counterclockwise. Nothing not normal there. It's a big screw, small screw with a big washer. So put it away. But the next thing is, there is a spring that is, it could be connected to here, or it could be, it could rest on here, one end here, or it could be on the other side over here. But in my camera it was here. So when taking out the counter itself, one need actually to have a tweezer here and loosen it. Have a tweezer like this, so you can actually hold it, so it will not just spring out. And then you have to lift this part a little, just a little, so you can get a grip on it. Now take this, you see it will already wind up. But it's not a big problem, but use a flat tool like this dentist tool and go under here and lift it up gently. Maybe 2 tools need to do that. It's already in here, and then now when taking it out, the spring will just not flew around, it's connected to the other end, but as you can see here, if I just let it go, it will just do like this. It's connected to the end in here somewhere, and it's not that long. One thing is, when the counter reset, this tab here will stop against this screw here. So when the counter is reset, it will simply end like this. So the little pin there is stopping against this side of the of this screw here. The way it actually works is quite simple. So we take off this, and remember there are 2 screws, different lengths. This one is sitting here, and actually the stop screw. The other one is just a normal tiny screw. So, and now take this part out. Just lift it out. Remember how it's faced. It can only sit one way, because the counter mechanism, which is here, that's the actual counterpart. So when moving the film, this eccentric under this screw, there's the other side of it is an eccentric that actually moves this back and forth, and in that way on the dented counter wheel, push the counter one step forward each time you advance the film. So therefore those are here. You can see it here when I advance the counter, the take up spool, if it's possible to do so. Not really, but we need to go further into the this screw has to be taken out. It's not a screw, it's what do you say, it's a lid, a kind of a lid, that there's a spring inside here, a small one, so take care of that. And it screws counterclockwise. Well, one can use a lens tool to unscrew it, and just loosen it and use your finger to unscrew the rest, and take care of the spring in here. See? So, and now there is even more screws in here, and also take that in. This screw is actually, when you unscrew it, it screws clockwise. So it has, what do you say, left-hand thread? Not left-hand, it must be right-hand thread, sorry. But it's easier to unscrew this. This is just a normal little screw that's screwed into a long pin here that is connected to this screw. So take out this, unscrew it, and keep a finger here. It will be easier. And also have a finger here, your thumb, and unscrew this one. So you can see they have used some kind of green thread lock or something like that. And there is also a spring in here. That's why you have to put your thumb here. The end of this one is a squared hole. There's a spring here. A spacer or washer that is act like a bearing for this spring, and it's loop. Maybe we can get it out. Not really. Doesn't matter. It has to be taken out. But will not. Okay, see. Now it comes out, and it has to sit there again. Okay, so now I will not take out the wheel here, but it's not part of the of this little tutorial. So now we have the counter assembly part, this part here, which I actually just can take out, but not yet, because I will take out those 3 screws. And the other one, last one here. So now it's possible to take out the whole thing here, as you can see. In this, that's the actual winding gear assembly, what do you call it? You can see the hole here is not really a hole. It's a kind of, there's more than this side half a hole, if one could say, because there is a pin, tiny pin here, this one, that actually lock into this gear teeth wheel. But here you can see how it actually works. So when moving advance the film, it will look like something here. So every count, maybe I think it must be something 2 or 3 counts or revolutions. It will move the actual counter 1 step. So I would say it's 1.5 revolution for one when it counts to the next number. So therefore we need another tool, just a wrench, and have it there, because then we will I will take out this screw, and it's difficult to see. This screw, it's unscrewed clockwise, and in my camera it sits so tight. So now it doesn't sit that tight, but so therefore you need a good tool to unscrew it. I haven't yet made a special tool for this, but maybe I should do that. It's just easy with a Dremel grinder tool. Just a little, take the legs a little apart. So, and then just do it looks different when unscrewing a screw counterclockwise. Oh, here, the actual long pin falls out, of course. Has to sit there, and the screw comes out, and this one looks like something here. So now the actual counter part, which is this one, you see the almost squared hole here, and for maybe you can see it, is this screw, this side of the screw is actually eccentric, and there's a small spacer here which we also take out. Oh, do you mind coming here? So now the actual spring that reset the, when you wind the camera like this, there's also a spring in here. I mean, under this part. So therefore, to come into that, I will not take out the spring, because it's a, yeah, it works in my camera. So, but if it doesn't, well, I would show that, but I will take a look into it. There are 3 small set screws around here, and to get into those, one need to move, take a good hand here and move the actual winding thingy, so you have access to the screws. I mean, you do not have access if it's something like there. So you move to a bigger slot there, and therefore I can get my 1.2mm screwdriver in and just loosen it. No need for taking out the small screws. So, and of course take care of the small screws, but also when I will show it. Oh, there. And when I release here my finger, it will just go back like that. Now, to take out the aluminum here, One have a good grip here, so it will not come out, but just move it a little, and then be careful. This one will also come out, but gently lift it up, and here we have it. So you see, this is what it looks. Can only sit one way. Now, this spacer, or whatever the name is, it has a small gap here, but it can only sit one way. So it cannot sit over here or here. It's only here it can sit. So like that. So this is the spring that when you advance the film, it will draw the arm back to starting point. So this is how it looks. So this was only to show what was inside here, so I will assemble it again. So, and this one, haha, no, this one has to be the next thing that goes on. So the first thing we do, put this in here. And something like that. And have it like this. See the screw holes are. Then put it over here. And put it like that. So we just have to find the correct position for that part here and fit it to place. So, and again we have to move this, move this part with the advance arm. It can be a little tricky, but it will be something like there, and then have a good grip on it. A small screwdriver, then gently tighten the screws. Now I have it in place, so therefore it can be a little tricky to put back in again. Something there. And we do it for the last one. So, and then I would just put things back in again. And to do this, put this. This is not a screw. It's just I think it's a tab that is pressed in these axle. This one goes on here, and the rest of the parts here, this spacer. So you can see it's not a good idea to just pop the axle in. Then this part, the part that moves the counter, and maybe can now be put this in like there, and the screw. And remember, it has to be screwed in counterclockwise. And of course one could use some thread lock. Maybe it can work. There it goes. See, the screw has to, let's see, have we tool? Because the counter part here needs to be centered. So now it's not tightened yet, but you can see it actually works. So I just need to put the axle here into the body again, and remember this hole here where the small pin has to go into. So just catch it. Should be possible. And then the parts here with the thin spacer. And the spring, the beak spring, the part with a squared hole that goes over the axle with a squared end, and you just have to catch the see there, and put your thumb then a screwdriver, yes. Not easy. No one said it should be, but it's great fun. So I will just lift it up a little, and it should be better. I mean, easier to put the screw in. Yeah, here we have it. And then just tighten it. So, and then the cover with the one spring here. And a tool. So, and then the 3 screws that actually hold the winding gear. In the repair manual is actually called winding metal. Of course it's made of metal, but funny it has the name. And the last screw. So if the advance arm will not release back to its normal position, it could be the actual winding spring that is worn out, or yeah. I will just tighten the screw here a bit more. So, and the this top plate, that can only face, it can only sit that way. So put it over, and then the long screw is also only can sit one way and one place. So it's actually quite easy. See, there's a little problem here because it looks like something is a little offset. There. No, it's fine. Unscrew. I mean, the last little screw here. And then we are actually almost back on track. The only thing I need is actually to put the this long spring. So we'll just do so and simply roll it. I don't know how they do it in the factory, but I mean, it's good. It's not 10 meters long, so it would take a while, but we are almost there. And it has to be a little tight, not too tight, but I mean, there have to be space in here to when it can move. So and it's pretty long. So I would think we were there. See, maybe it's a little too tight, so I will just give it one turn. See, that long, it would be enough. So remember the pin here. This pin has to, when the counter is in, rest on this side of the screw. So a tweezer is very handy in this situation, and again it can be a little tricky. So put the spring here, then put the wheel over and be sure the stop is there, and then we're done. then you can just press spring a little so it sits there, because then the top cover for the counter can come over. So we are almost there for this part. I will not assemble the rest of the camera because it was just to show in here what's happened, but of course I will check that it works. So I will put on the, well, I could just assemble the rest of the camera, so it's no problem. Just check it works. And it seems to work okay. The counter works and the advance mechanism works, so everything is in proper order. So I will just put things back in again. It will not take that long. Just the top cover on and the rest of the screws. So the retaining ring goes on, and this special tool for tighten the retaining ring. Just catch the thread. That's important. And then first the AR, because it will be much easier to put on when the winding lever is not here. So the AR button comes on here, and the retaining ring knot, whatever it calls, and a special tool here to just catch the thread, and there it is. Move the AR button and then tighten the set screw. So, and therefore it will be much easier to set the AR and the shutter button on before putting on the advance lever. So there it is, the advance lever. So just align the ring underneath, so. And do those tiny screws goes in. So, yeah, the screws are a bit worn out. Of course, I've been into this camera sometimes. So, yeah, this one goes on the film the film winder, the film type, the film length. So, sorry, how many pictures? And then the top cover for the counter comes on, and there are 3 tiny screws. And there, and the exposure wheel. So the spring and the top. So it can only sit one way, so it's actually quite easy. So I only missed the front and the name, and then we are done. So it's not a hard tour, if one can say so, to get into the film advanced gear. So and the 2 screws on, not on the very top, but then almost, not the very top screw, but the next one. To put on the nameplate. So, and the rest of the screw goes in. They are non-magnetic, so can be a little annoying to put on. Okay, come on. So there and there, and then the prism. One can help to actually not push too hard on the prism. So by pushing this locking mechanism, it will be not that hard for the mechanism. So, and that's actually that. Well, maybe it needs some lube on this advanced mechanism. But you see, it will be another go. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy the content of this old fellow that still works. Bye bye.